Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy back to do your December 2015 readings. I can't believe it's the end of 2015 already. It seems like it flew by so fast. I will again be using the Gilded Tarot deck, pulling 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, along with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month. These are general readings, so they may not apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches them. I suggest that you also check your rising and your moon sign as well. I will have all of the videos up by the end of the weekend. For those of you who would like an extension on this reading or a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, which will give you a little more detail on myself, the services I offer, and my contact information, which is Maggie, the number 1, McGuire at gmail.com. I will be running specials for the holidays from December 1st to December 31st. I will be offering 30-minute readings for $25 and 60-minute readings for $50. I do those via Skype, scheduled Skype appointments, or I can send you a link to a recorded video of your reading. I also offer a 3-question spread for $25 where I email you the written reading along with an accompanying card, an accompanying picture of the card layout. So for those of you who have been watching and listening and subscribing, you have my deepest gratitude for that. I love to see the numbers continue to rise on my subscriptions. It is very validating, and I want to tell you that I appreciate it very much. And for those of you who are watching, I wish you all a very happy holiday season. So let's begin. This reading is for Cancer for the month of December 2015. Cancer, the Crabs for December 2015. It's very cold here in Northern California. I've been drinking coffee all day. It has been raining all day, which is the signal of our winter here, rather than too much in the way of snow. In fact, I think the last time it snowed actually in the Bay Area was in the 70s. Cancer, December 2015. What does the month December 2015 hold for Cancer? Okay. For the first week, we have the Temperance card, followed by the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, Major Arcana right in the very beginning. For the second week, we have the Page of Wands, followed by the Nine of Swords. In the third week, we have the Knight of Wands, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. And the fourth week, we have the Two of Wands, followed by the Moon card. And as the overall theme or general feeling of the month, I pull a card from the bottom of the deck, and you have the Six of Cups. Well, right off the bat, Cancer, I'm getting that this is going to be a month of the past returning. This could be explained by you're just traveling to see family or family you haven't seen in a while for the holidays. But for those of you, it looks like it's a rather significant relationship, or someone that was that you had a very significant relationship with coming back to you. We begin with the Temperance card, followed by the Wheel of Fortune. And the Temperance card is a Major Arcana card, and I like to call the Major Arcana cards Fingers of the Divine, God, Spirit, Universe, whatever you prefer to call your spiritual base or your spiritual connection, coming in and affecting changes or bringing us situations or opportunities that we are unable or unwilling to do on our own. Sometimes, most of the time, which we have less control over the actual situations, but we're left with the opportunity on how we decide to act or to move on these situations, therefore giving us an opportunity to continue to learn and grow as human beings here, to evolve. So the Temperance card is a card of temperance, of balance, of moderation, of patience. It is about it's about walking a line and balancing between extremes. It's about finding the peaceful path through opposite ends of the spectrum of emotions in a situation. And I think that paired with the Wheel of Fortune, as we're beginning with both of these cards, this coupling is telling me the Wheel of Fortune bringing, and it's in the upright position too. Um, the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel is always turning, as I'm fond of saying, and it can be in the upswing or the downswing. Um, it brings unexpected changes and situations into our lives. Sometimes they appear right from the beginning to be good, and sometimes maybe not so good. Although I think everything plays out that way in the end towards some good in our life or some form of our own personal evolvement. But I think that for you, Cancer, this month, this coupling is asking you, is letting you know that there is an event coming, that the Wheel of Fortune is bringing something, and I think it's an actual individual, bringing something into your life that's going to require you or is asking you to have a sense of patience, to maintain a sense of balance in the situation that's going to be coming into your life, to try and maintain a sense of peace and moderation. Basically, it's telling you that there's the feeling I'm getting is that there's a situation coming that, and I'm going to tell you right now, and we'll go through the cards to explain it. It looks like there's somebody's coming back into your life, or attempting or asking to come back into your life for some kind of reconciliation or some kind of connection. Um, and this is going to be a fairly unexpected thing. With the Wheel of Fortune being in the upright, it looks like either this is perhaps maybe something that you've wanted or something that you've been thinking about. I'm getting the feeling right now that this is a past relationship or someone you've had a very significant relationship with in the past, and someone that even though you've moved on from, has still remained kind of on the back burner of both your mind and your heart. And the Wheel of Fortune is telling me that this is the month where this individual is going to be coming back to you for something, and the Temperance card is asking you to try to maintain a balance in this, even though you have 3 Wands card in this reading, which signifies a lot of fire and passion and movement. I think the Temperance card is asking you that throughout this month and throughout this situation, regardless of how it plays out, that you try and maintain a balance in your emotions and to have some patience with the situation rather than acting so spontaneously. Also, this pairing with the Temperance card and the Wheel of Fortune, I want to add, I feel compelled to add that when we're grounded in ourselves, as this woman in the Temperance card signifies, she has come to a place where she has learned to balance the fire, the water, all the elements of nature, along with, her own emotionality and her own psyche. And when you're in a place in your life where you're able to have that kind of grounding to who you are in and of yourself, to not be quite so emotionally or passionately attached to outcomes, then regardless of how the Wheel of Fortune turns, Cancer, you remain on that peaceful path. You retain that sense of foundation with your own self and your own being and your own place in the universe. I don't know why I feel compelled to tell you that. I just did. In the second week, we have the Page of Wands, followed by the Nine of Swords. And Cancer, I think this is where, whether it's in the beginning of the month or the second week or somewhere around the middle of the month, I think this is where this individual is coming in. And right next to it, we also have the Knight of Wands. And the pairing of these cards together speaks to me of a very significant relationship in your life. Something that someone who has the ability, or who has had in the past the ability to affect you quite strongly and quite deeply. This has been a very significant relationship. And I think this Page of Wands that's coming in, I think that you get a message first and foremost. Pages can be young people, they can represent actual children in your life, but I think in this situation it's actually representing a message. The Knight of Wands that's coming after it actually representing the person, but I think you're getting a message My feeling is that this person that you had a significant relationship with in the past, whether it's, and I say significant relationship, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a love relationship, although that's the connection I'm getting first and foremost. But for some of you, as this is a general reading, for some of you, this is going to be a different type of relationship. It could be a family member, somebody who was a best friend, something of that sort. It could have been maybe a business partner for some of you, but the relationship is one that includes a degree of emotionality and a degree of passion about it. And I think that the Page of Wands is bringing you the message from this person. Perhaps this person sends you an email or a letter, or you get a phone call or a text out of the blue, where this person is initiating contact with you. Or what I'm getting is for a small portion of you, there will be somebody acting as a mediator, or somebody coming to you and saying, so and so came to me and wants to reconnect with you, or somebody else is coming to you with a message that this person you had this significant relationship with you wants to reconnect with you, wants to have some form of communication with you. Now the Page of Wands, Wands also being the suit of, the element is fire and air, and implies movement, power, change, activity, passion, feelings, emotion. It's an action-oriented card, and it's accompanied by the Nine of Swords. And I think this really, this message that you get about this person, even though this relationship um, has kind of stuck with you somewhere in your head and your heart, I think that this message that you get, or this communication that you get either from or about this person wanting to reconnect with you, really throws you for a loop, Cancer. The feeling that I'm getting is it's sort of happy, sort of anxious, sort of a sense of trepidation, like maybe this is something that you thought about, that you wanted, even longed for, but yet at the same time a little bit afraid of, apprehensive about. And the Page of Wands being accompanied by the Nine of Swords basically says the same thing. Swords are a suit of the element, again, of fire or air. Swords is a suit that represents thought. It represents thought, ways of thinking, logic, reasoning, mental projection. It represents our mind, things in our minds. The swords representing thoughts or ideas. And this shows a woman who is sitting up in bed. There's 9 swords all kind of facing down from her. There's an owl in the window, which usually signifies wisdom. Wisdom right there, but she's not actually looking at it. You can see the moon in the window, which implies that it's the middle of the night. It's the card of sleeplessness, of restlessness. This woman is being kept awake by her thoughts. She can't sleep. She's caught up in something. She's caught up in her thoughts, and it's keeping her up at night. There's a sense of worry and anxiety that goes along with this card, and the sense that I'm getting is of circular thinking somehow, your thoughts about this message, about this person coming in, and what do you do about it, circling around and around and around in your head. I don't actually see this as a hugely harmful or negative thing. I mean, even though having sleepless nights, I've had a number of them myself, are not really positive things, and they don't feel good, but I get the sense that it's not a traumatic thing in terms of that it's a really painful thing. I just think that this message about reconnection, this person who's coming back into your life or who wants to come back into your life, that it's thrown you for a loop, and maybe you're having some restless nights, some anxiety, a lot of circular thinking. What do I do? Do I say this? Do I do this? Do I agree to reconnect with them? Do I agree to meet? What do I do? And you're kind of being like a dog chasing its own tail. You're just going around and around in your head. Um, And this is something that you have more control over than you think you do, Cancer, in terms of it being in your thoughts, your own mind. These are um, this circular thinking is something that doesn't need to be quite as intense as it looks like. You may be tempted. You may be tempted to. I kind of get the sense that this kind of takes over your head and your heart for a while when you first get this message from this person, or from someone bringing you a message from this person. Um, and that you're really not sure. For a moment you really get stuck in not knowing what to do. I don't, like I said, I don't see it as a particularly harmful thing, just that perhaps you may want to keep an eye on letting this consume you too much. Take a break from it from time to time. Think about it, but try not to try to continue living your own life and going about your day-to-day routine and your day-to-day life, and whatever it is that the holidays are kind of taking up to. Don't forget that we began the month with the Wheel of Fortune saying this sudden event and situation is coming into your life, and it's upright, so it doesn't imply to me that it's going to be a negative thing, just a very surprising thing. But the Temperance card, remember, is asking you to have balance in this situation, which the Nine of Swords is directly contradicting. So keep an eye on that, Cancer. You are, I know, a watery sign. You tend to feel things quite deeply, and you let things really get to you sometimes. And I would suggest that whatever it is you do in the form of self-nurturing or that helps you during times of stress, whether it's exercise or music or massage or a hot bath or all of the above, to forget to maintain a balance in your life and take care of yourself too. I'm not getting the sense that this was a relationship that ended horribly, although I think most endings carry some sense of sadness, no matter how amicable they are. Um, but in any case, so far you're being asked to have a little bit of balance in this. Now, in the third week, we have the Knight of Wands, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. And I think this is when the actual person shows up for you, Cancer. I think this Knight of Wands is this individual coming back into your life, or attempting to come back into your life. And this could be somebody who's, knights are the bringers of the zodiac, the bringers of the tarot deck. They're the ones that were in, when you think about the role of knights in medieval times, they were the ones that were given missions and sent out on quests, and they were very single-minded. That was pretty much their whole purpose. And they were very single-minded, very focused, and very driven. The Knight of Wands is as well, the wands being a suit of fire and air. This is a very passionate person. He may be very, or she may be very persistent in wanting to reconnect with you or reconcile with you in some way. Um, I do get the sense of reconciliation with this. So perhaps it was a lover, a boyfriend, or a husband, some kind of partner that you had a split up with, and they're coming back to reconcile or to apologize perhaps in some way. I think for some of you, reconciliation or gaining closure doesn't necessarily mean that you um, resume or restart a relationship with this person, but simply that for some of you, this is going to be somebody wanting to come back and make things right, and make amends. Although I think it's for a smaller portion of you, because I don't see any justice or judgment or cards or anything that would point specifically to that. But it's a general reading, and for a small portion of you, that may be what this is. For the rest of you, this is somebody who wants to have an active part in your life again. They may be quite persistent in doing it, very single-minded about this. It is accompanied by the Ace of Pentacles, which is Pentacles being the element being earth, and Pentacles is a suit that represents earthly, tangible things in our environment, things that we can see and touch. Typically, things like money, resources, assets, wealth, property, things of that sort. I think that this Knight of Wands individual that's coming back into your life or wanting to come back into your life is coming back with a gift, maybe offering a gift. Aces also. The Ace of Pentacles represents an actual gift. It's the most straightforward of all the aces, in that the gift that it represents is something tangible, So perhaps this person's coming back with some kind of tangible gift. I don't know whether it's money, perhaps that was part of why you split up, or um, aces being representing new beginnings. Perhaps what he is offering is just simply a new beginning um, that represents something. I'm not sure actually. It, it's too generalized for me to point out what it specifically is. It could just be the offer of a new beginning with this person, or they're coming back with an actual gift for you. Um, that's going to play out differently for different people. But I have the feeling that they're going to be quite forceful about it and quite persistent about it, perhaps. In the last week of the month, we have the Two of Wands, the choice card, go figure, accompanied by the Moon card, which is interesting. A pretty straightforward combination, really. So the Two of Wands, another Wands card. You have one, two, three Wands card in this reading. So there seems to be quite a bit of emotion in this, passion, a lot of high emotion, a lot of passion, a lot of fire attached to this somehow. Maybe this is someone that you had, the Knight of Wands, coming across as a very passionate person. Maybe this is someone that you had a very passionate, albeit maybe turbulent relationship with. So the Two of Wands is two being also the number of balance, stability, choice, which I think is pretty straightforward in this reading. It shows a man standing at a crossroads, and he is faced with two paths, and it's difficult to make that choice. And it looks like you're struggling with knowing what to do with this person, with what this person is offering, because both the paths look very similar. They point down, if you can see in this card. They look fairly similar to each other. They're both sort of meandering off in the same general direction. They both look basically the same, and you can't really tell what the journey will be like on either one, or where they will end from where you're standing right now. It's a card also of waiting, of having some patience, which kind of goes right along with that Temperance card we had in the beginning. And paired with the Moon card, I think that's exactly the advice that it's giving you, Cancer, in this situation. The Moon card is a card either of it's a card that's a shadowy sort of card. It's the Moon card. Not everything is revealed by the light of the moon. There's too many things hidden in the shadows. It's a card of not having enough information. It's a card too that implies a certain degree of passivity, and again, echoing the message of patience, that you don't quite have all the information yet with which to make this decision. And I think that's where you find yourself at, or towards the end of the month, Cancer, in regards to this person coming back into your life and what choice or what decision you actually will make. I think the cards are telling you, they're suggesting to you that you don't have, that everything may not be as it seems, that you don't have all the information yet, and that the piece of advice is to wait a while longer, to maintain, and to, in the midst of that, as the Temperance card was suggesting, to have some kind of to try and maintain a balance and to remain grounded, while you're kind of waiting to see how this plays out. Because I get the sensation that I get the feeling that this is something that's just going to be playing out. And I don't think you have enough information to act yet. Things may not be everything that they appear to be, in spite of the fact that there seems to be a lot of high emotion and passion attached to this. I think the advice here is that you just don't have everything that you need to make an informed decision yet. And in the midst of this, you need to kind of stay grounded and not get too caught up in your own thoughts and too many of those sleepless nights, Cancer. What I'm getting to is that as this plays out, it might be better to wait until after the new year to actually make a firm decision about whether or not you truly want to have this person back in your life and whether or not their offer is actually sincere. You know, it is the holiday season and there's a lot of emotion attached to that. You're with family sometimes, or sometimes it can be a difficult time for people, especially people who have split up. You know, you can get quite nostalgic and perhaps it can be kind of a lonely time for people. And if someone's coming to you with an offer of wanting to come back into your life, it might be best to have some patience, stay grounded, take care of yourself in the meantime, and wait until after the new year, after the hustle and bustle and glow and nostalgia and emotion and sparkle of the holidays are over, to see if in fact this offer really is genuine and not just spurred on um, by this time of year and the emotions that traditionally come up this time of year. Now, as an overall theme and general feeling of the month, the card that you got, Cancer, was the Six of Cups, which is pretty clear. This is a card of about nostalgia. It's about thinking about the past, about the way things used to be, about reminiscing, about missing things, about the good old days. And I think that the advice and the warning, the caution attached to this card is that it can be really easy to get caught up in that, and perhaps you might be tempted to make a decision to spontaneously or quickly to reconnect or reconcile with this person based on looking at perhaps how good it was when your relationship was good. But relationships do end for a reason, and sometimes exes remain exes for a reason. And I think this card, I mean, I can't advise you one way or the other, and I don't think that the cards are actually saying specifically one way or the other. But I think that the feeling that I'm getting is that this is something that's playing out and that needs to play out, Cancer. And just to recap, it's asking you to have the situation is coming into maybe somewhere in the beginning of this month or the end of last month. It's asking you to stay balanced, to have some patience, to stay grounded. You don't want to get caught up in too many of those sleepless nights. It is the holidays. Keep on with your plans. Make sure to take care of yourself, no matter how much this passionate, fiery person is being persistent with you, or perhaps offering you some shiny, sparkly gifts um, and a new beginning with them. Um, but you just don't have quite as much information as you need to make an informed, healthy decision about this. And so stay patient and let it play out and see where you are after the beginning of the year. Very interesting reading. I don't usually do this, Cancer, but I'm going to pull a clarifying card. Whoa, we had two just pop right out. Hmm. You know, I'm not actually feeling like that really connects to the reading, so I'm going to put those back in, and if they pop back out, then they pop back out. So, Cancer, pull some clarifying card. Oh, there's one popping out right here. So the card that you got, Cancer, as a clarifying card was the Hierophant. It's interesting. The Hierophant is another major arcana card, which brings you up to 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 major arcana cards you have here. I think this may be the idea that what just came into my head was karmic. This may be I think this is something karmic being brought to you by God, Spirit, Universe, whatever you call your spiritual base. I think that this situation is being brought to you by the divine to, there's something that you didn't finish, or something that your karmic contract with this individual isn't empty. There's something else that needs to play out here. I'm not saying this as a strong piece of advice on yes, you must reconcile with this person, because the lesson could just be in the process of how this plays out. Um, but that I'm getting that very strongly, that this is something karmic being brought to you for a reason. There's something not quite completed with this individual. Now the Hierophant is speaks of tradition. It speaks of convention. It speaks of doing things by the book. It can be sometimes control and rigidity, although it popped out in the upright position, so it could also be the marriage proposal. I mean, this is one of the cards that shows up sometimes in couplings with other cards for marriage, traditional conventional marriage. And that could be what this Knight of Wands is offering, this gift is offering. Perhaps he's coming to you with a ring. Perhaps he's coming with a marriage proposal. If that happens, message me because I want to know. That might be what's being offered. It could be that for some of you, it could be advice on taking a more traditional approach to this. If this person is coming back to court you or recourt you or reconcile, apologize in some way, it could be asking you to take a more conventional path to allowing them to do that. It can also speak of, the Hierophant can also speak of actual institutions like church, perhaps religion, perhaps if you go to church, if you're a praying sort, perhaps you could go to your priest or your pastor for advice on this. It could be asking you to come from a place of compassion and forgiveness with this individual. If this is somebody who's coming back to apologize for having hurt you in some way in the past. I'm not sure how this is really gonna play out. I'm just kind of reading what's coming out, Cancer. That's a really interesting, fascinating reading. If this resonates with any of you and you are comfortable sharing what that is, please feel free to message or email me or make a comment in the comment section. And it'll be interesting to see how this continues to play out for you through this month and into the new year, Cancer. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, or at least got something pertinent and useful from it. I don't get any real negative, sort of really painful kind of things. It seems very exciting and somewhat anxiety provoking, and but I'm not getting any really bad feelings from it. So have some patience, stay grounded, make sure to take care of yourself. It's the holiday season. Go out and enjoy yourself. If you'd like an extension on this reading, or again, if you'd like a personal reading, feel free to contact me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. The information is on the, if you click the About button on my channel's homepage, you can also get that information. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay warm. It's very cold here in Northern California. And as always, Cancer, I wish you peace, blessings, and a happy life, and a happy holiday season. And I will see you next year in 2016. Bye.